Welcome back to Tech Pulse, your go-to show where we break down the latest breakthroughs in science and technology, making them not just digestible, but actually exciting. I'm Zaper.
And I'm Puck, your curious sidekick, constantly asking the wait, what does that mean questions? So you don't have to, though I'll probably still get confused halfway through.
Quick reminder before we jump in. If you love hearing about tech that shapes our world, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, maybe even share this with that one friend who won't shut up about how their iPhone could probably run NASA.
Oh, and today they'd actually be right, because drumroll please, the headline is Your laptop's power surpasses that of NASA's moon-era computer.
Wait, seriously? Like my beat up laptop with three cracked stickers on it, more powerful than the computers that literally sent astronauts to the moon?
Yes, believe it or not, that's exactly what we're talking about today. The Apollo missions relied on a computer called the Apollo Guidance Computer, or AGC. It was cutting edge in the 1960s, but if you compared it to even a mid-range laptop, or heck, even your phone charger, you'd be shocked.
Okay, slow down. Let's not lose people right out of the gate. What exactly was this Apollo guidance computer? And what's the deal with all these numbers?
Good call. So the AGC was the onboard computer for the Apollo spacecraft, the one guiding astronauts safely to the moon and back. It wasn't about playing games or streaming movies. It was built purely for navigation, calculations, and keeping everything stable in space.
Right, so not exactly running Fortnite at 120 FPS.
Definitely not. In fact, the AGC had a clock speed of just 2.048 megahertz. For comparison, a modern laptop runs in gigahertz. That's over 1,000 times faster.
Hold on. Megahertz, gigahertz. I hear these terms all the time, but what do they actually mean in plain English?
Great question. So think of it like a drummer's beat. The clock speed is how many beats per second the computer can keep. A megahertz is a million beats per second. A gigahertz is a billion beats per second.
So the Apollo computer was drumming along at 2 million beats per second, and my laptop is drumming along at 3 billion beats per second.
Exactly. In modern smartphones, same story. They're outrageously faster.
Okay, what about memory? Because my laptop keeps telling me it's out of memory when I open like 3 Chrome tabs.
Don't we all feel that? The AGC had 2,048 words of RAM, basically about 32,000 bits of memory. To put that in perspective, a single low-resolution image on your phone takes more memory than the entire Apollo computer had.
Wait, you're telling me my phone complaining about storage full is hoarding, what, billions of times more data than NASA ever had?
Exactly. Modern smartphones usually come with multiple gigabytes of RAM. That's literally over 1 million times more memory than the AGC.
That's wow. And here I am deleting old screenshots just to download an app.
Storage was also fascinating. The AGC used core rope memory, a type of read-only memory where wires were physically woven through magnetic cores. It held about 72 kilobytes.
72 kilobytes? That's like smaller than a single modern text file.
Exactly. Compare that to your laptop with hundreds of gigabytes or even terabytes of storage.
Okay, but what about energy? Did it at least use less power than our energy-hungry machines?
Not really. It consumed around 55 watts, about the same as a modern LED light bulb. And it weighed about 70 pounds.
Imagine lugging that thing through airport security. Sir, what is this giant metal box? Oh, just my laptop.
Here's the kicker. Even a modern USB-C charger, those little bricks we plug into our laptops, often has a microcontroller inside that's more powerful than the Apollo guidance computer.
You're kidding. A charger has more raw computing power than the machine that took us to the moon.
Yep, but, and this is important, raw power isn't the full story.
Here comes the but.
Yeah, see, the AGC wasn't built to be fast, it was built to be reliable. It had to work in space in extreme radiation with no chance of repair.
That's a whole different design challenge than cranking out performance numbers.
So even though my phone could theoretically outmuscle it, if you threw my phone into space, it would probably fry in seconds.
Exactly. Plus, the AGC software was insanely optimized. The engineers made every single instruction count. With that tiny amount of memory and speed, they still managed to calculate trajectories, land on the moon, and bring astronauts back safely.
That's like writing War and Peace on a sticky note.
Perfect analogy.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Other than me feeling slightly guilty that I use all this power just to binge watch Netflix.
Well, it shows us two things. Technology has advanced at an almost unimaginable pace. We carry supercomputers in our pockets today.
And constraints spark creativity. The Apollo engineers did the impossible with almost nothing, and that mindset still drives innovation today.
Right, it's not just about raw specs, it's about how you use them.
Exactly.
All right, I think I'm walking away from this both amazed and slightly humbled. My laptop might crush NASA's 1969 computer, but those engineers, they still outsmart me.
Same here. And that's the beauty of it. Technology evolves, but human ingenuity is timeless.
Well, that's a wrap on today's episode of Tech Pulse.
If you enjoyed this dive into moon era tech versus your everyday devices, make sure to hit like, drop us a comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
I'm Puck.
And I'm Zaper.
Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sometimes the smallest devices in your pocket can outpower history's greatest achievements.
See you next time on Tech Pulse.